Did Bitcoin just light the fuse to a 122K rally? And Ethereum about to leave Coca-Cola and Alibaba in the dust? Buckle up, because today's crypto market is absolutely wild. Stick around and find out what's driving this insanity. Welcome back, crypto crew. It's your boy Tom here, bringing you the hottest in Bitcoin and crypto action. If you're ready to dive into today's market analysis, give us a like. Make sure you hit subscribe if you haven't already, and make sure you come on over to X and follow us on X, where we talk about Bitcoin and crypto all day, every day. All right, let's kick things off with good old Bitcoin. Bitcoin just smashed through 105,700 on May 12th, 2025 for the first time in about 4 months. Now, this move is confirming our megaphone pattern that's playing out textbook. And we're projecting a massive rally to 122K to get the party started. But there's some market sentiment indexes out there flashing signs of short-term overheating. So, of course, we could see some pullback. And we're going to get into that right now. I'm going to come over to another Bitcoin chart where I got the good old Fibonacci levels up. And what I did was I went from the all-time high down to the recent low that we had at 74.5, and I projected upward. Okay, so right now as it stands for me, because I don't use 786, I use 82, and some people use other levels. But right now as it stands, Bitcoin's got to hold 102,500. That is an important point, because right now, this is what I was talking about yesterday. Let me see if I can draw that real fast without messing up my my charts here. Okay, right now, like from this area right to the 618. All right, so I'll go down to about here. There it is, 618 right there. This is what's known as a coffin box. So in other words, if the marketplace came up into this area, right, this is me, all right, this is my technique, I call it a coffin box. Marketplace rallied up into this area and hit the 0.82, couldn't get up through it. This is where, potential upward movements, could die. But it didn't do that. It did not do that. It came up above it. And so I could say that this area right now is acting as support to get us through that all-important 107, slight retrace back up through that old high of the 109,588, was it? Yeah, I got 109,588. So Bitcoin is still sitting pretty well, sitting kind of strong. Of course, we can get, downward movement. Of course, that's totally possible. Yeah, I think that we could get a retrace to like 103, 102. I would be concerned if it broke that 102. But right now, it's actually showing, really, it's about to consolidate and drive higher. But what's driving the Bitcoin surge? Well, aside from the price action, which always leads news, okay, the price action confirmed the upward movement once we broke out of the resistance line right over in this area right here. On this 4-hour chart, we had a resistance line come through over here. Once we broke up through that resistance line, that was basically the go-ahead that we're going to track higher. All right, so price always leads the news. But it was a major breakthrough in U.S.-China trade talks. This guy covered it really well. David, I think his name is David Ingalls, okay? Basically, he talked about exactly what's happening here. There was a substantial de-escalation. Both sides lowered tariffs for 90 days. U.S. cuts tariffs on Chinese goods from 145. They cut it to 30 from 145%. China cut tariffs on American goods to 10% from 125%. So Scott Bessant, says the U.S. North China want to decouple. That's not a great thing for the states. I mean, that's probably a false flag, because the U.S. definitely wants to bring back its manufacturing for sure. But as it stands right now, there was a talk in Geneva between Bessant and Chinese Vice President I can't pronounce his name, Ling. He sealed the deal in Geneva to slash tariffs. Now, U.S. is dropping the tariffs. on the Chinese good from 145 to 30. China's cutting U.S. duties from imports from 125 to 10. So you could see all about it in this X post. Now, the truth sparked the rally not only in Bitcoin but also in the S&P, and the U.S. dollar gained ground against the yen tremendously on it. I called that move as well. While gold dips a little bit, about 2.3% as investors started to shy away from safe haven assets. Maybe a gold, I haven't done a full analysis on it yet, but it's going to be interesting to see exactly what's going on with gold. But I want to take you over to the technicals. So what I want to do here is I want to go to the weeklies. All right. And I want to show you how the weeklies kind of confirm exactly what's happening, where the potential 120 can come from. This was a bull flag pattern that was broken out on the weeklies. Market started ratcheting up into our megaphone pattern, which is playing out beautifully. If I haven't said it like 20 times before, but market came up into this area, into this triangle, broke out. All right, so great. That's history. But how can we make price projections off of it? Well, if we take the high of the 74,000, okay, and we go down to, like, say, this is the beginning of the flagpole. Oops, let's get this bloody thing off so I can get to the beginning of the flagpole right here. Actually, no, I'll say the flagpole began right in this area because there was consolidation. So I'll say the flagpole began from 24. So if I take the difference between 73 and the 24, I'm going to get $49,000 difference. If I add 49,000 to the 73 top, I come up with a target of 122,000. That's confirming fib levels. That's a great thing that there's some confirmation of points here. All right, let's look at good old Ethereum. Good old Ethereum. Now here is what's going on in Ethereum. I do believe technically, that Ethereum has to get above, say, 3,000. I really have a point at 2009-21. There is going to be short-term resistance at probably 3,600, 3,700 before that $4,000 target that we were talking about. But Ethereum right now is really well poised to get up above this level right here. Like I said, I think it's going to see some short-term resistance at 3,600 before the 4,000 is hit to take us up parabolically. But there's a lot of other news that's going on. I'm going to go like right here. I'm going to go close enough. Like, I think there's going to be some resistance here before we get through the top at 4,000, this level. But this is interesting. I know a lot of stock guys, and they're basically talking like Ethereum. All right, so Ethereum surged 42% in 5 days. Flipping. Now, here's the thing. The stock guys are going, it flipped both Coca-Cola and Alibaba in market cap. So if you go to the site 8 market cap, Ethereum hit 308 billion in market cap on May 12th, 2025, today, right? Trading at the 2,550, making it the world's 39th largest asset. Coca-Cola's at 303.5 billion. Alibaba's at 303.7, and Ethereum's at 308. Now, the rally came, hot on the heels of Ethereum's Petra upgrade. We talked about that. It was originally planned for March, but there was some delays, and after that, the market heated up. So Ethereum, created a new testnet called Hootie to iron things out. The upgrade improves layer 2 scaling, data storage, validator experience, smart account wallets, making Ethereum really fast and really user-friendly, also helping with gas fees, which are really at all-time lows. So before we go, crew, I want to talk to you about just a couple other things. Look, fear and greed, 70, nowhere near any type of profit-taking scares. We got bull market indicators, 0 out of 30 still hit. We got Bitcoin funding rates, really kind of 0, right? So that means there's also some more room for Bitcoin to go up. We got liquidation. Let's look at the liquidation map. Where are all the shorts today? Um, if it comes up, that would be great. I think there are none. Look, we got kind of clean sailing above here. So I'll break us say that 107. I think we should get a pullback a little bit, but if we blow through the 109,588, strap in because it's going to be a bumpy ride. All right, before we take off for the day, I want to make sure that you're well aware. And of course, this thing is, oh, wow, for the first time, it didn't do it to me. If you click on this link right here, we are opening up a crypto trading community. It's totally free to join. You click that link, it takes you over to this site where you can sign up. We'll be talking about insane alpha and trading opportunities daily, breakout setups, long-term gens. We got you covered. We want you to follow our trades with a solid broker. So make sure you come on over here to our site. In here, click on the link of our trusted broker. Low fees, fast execution, perfect for our strategies. Hey, we want you part of our trading community. We want you part of our trading group. So level up your trading. Let's stack the stories together, the war stories, which are really more important than the profits, but the profits are important. We'll stack those too. So make sure you come on over to X. Follow us on X, where we talk about Bitcoin and crypto all day, every day. And remember, always do your own research. Trade with your head, not over it. And if you're a short-term trader, enjoy the party, but dance near the door. Cheers.